how to break the habit of nighttime eating. So a lot of my clients come to me with the issue of zoning out at night in front of the TV and eating. You know, you put the kids to bed, the day's done, you're drained, and you just eat. You know, and that's something that I work with with clients. And for some people, a single session, a personalized hypnosis, an NLP process, that's done. You know, problem solved. And for others, it takes a deeper level of coaching as this behavior is deeply rooted. And for a lot of my clients, what we do is we switch out the behavior for a better serving behavior, and that is drinking tea, herbal tea and stuff. So I'll confess here, I've never really taken it further about the tea. I've just like herbal tea and I've left the discussion there. And in this last week, I met Prati. Welcome, Prati.
Hello, thank you.
At a networking event, and she is a trained tea expert and the founder of Teaphoria. So I think we were supposed to meet. So I've invited her here today for us to discuss tea. So just a little bit about Prati. With a combined experience of 40 years, Teaphoria, her company, stands for strength, relationships, trust, passion for tea, and a great tea tasting experience for their customers. Prati has spent the last 3 years in research and development of her finest blends of tea and created over 14 bestsellers to pick from. I love this. And she's recently launched a new brand, a brand new edition of teas. Prati thinks tea as an emotion, like almost nostalgia. This has got my attention too, because I work with emotional eaters, when it comes to matching people's taste buds every day, as most of the favourite flavours in the world are created via memories in people's minds. So, Prati, tell us a bit about tea.
Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for having me here. Yes, I am a trained tea taster, and it's, I think, one of the most fun professions that have ever come to me. So if you want me to start somewhere, I would say that it was an amazing coincidence how everything come together, and I became a trained taster. And I'm just going to start telling you about couple of sentences about tea, and just the last thing you mentioned, that tea is about nostalgia. And the reason why I strongly feel that way, it's about an experience, almost a nostalgia, which a lot of people connect their emotions to. And for example, when I was really, really young, to me, my only like happy memory, or the happiest memory, let's just say, was when I would share that cup of tea with the people that I really love and care about, and would sit for hours and chat together, and that tea would taste naturally different and beautiful, and we wouldn't know, we would just crave for the same taste again and again and again. And then when I actually had to travel and go do what you do in life, get your career done, I kind of missed it, that no other tea ever could match the perfection of that particular taste. And it was just in my mind for 11 years until I made like that decision of becoming a tea taster, and I met my tea master who offered me to train me. So, and this is how important little things can become in your life, and that's what I see tea as.
Yeah, I think what I can pull out from what you just said there that really stood out for me is that nostalgia, is that memory, is that emotion. Because the people that I work with a lot of people with overeating, emotional eating, and that sort of stuff. And there's memories like grandma's apple cake, or for me, vanilla slice with the family. And you are looking for that. And you can go to different stores and it's not quite the same. And you overeat, you know, there's obviously lots of ties with it. But, you know, you're trying to recreate this. And I think that's why inadvertently for a lot of my clients, we'd worked out to switching it to herbal tea. But I'd never thought, and this is why I'm really passionate about what you do as well, is making it into the experience in the evening when the day is done and the kids are in bed, if you've got kids, or you're just having that rest and calm. Instead of it being this frantic, like just eat and eat and eat and then feel guilty, why not make it an experience with a really great tasting, good quality tea that you enjoy, and you can make that, you know, a nice evening ritual. So I'd love for you to chat about some of the health benefits of this good quality tea, because that's something we talked about in our discussion, that like I was like, oh, I just send them to the supermarket, and you weren't quite horrified, but you were like, oh, no. And yeah, so share that with us.
Yeah, so you're so spot on that. Yes, it's a nostalgia, it's an experience, or it's an emotion, but and you overdo it just to look for it. And like I did that to, like, I would go out and drink tea, cups and cups of tea in a cafe just to find out that one particular taste. But then sooner, when I started training when I decided to start training to start with, it's because I just wanted to give that health experience to people as well. And that's why my first edition is the Swasthya edition, which translates literally to health and wellness edition, because it does matter a lot. The deeper I understood tea, even black tea, even a simple black tea, or even English breakfast, or even green tea, and then becomes the herbal concoctions of Ayurveda. Even then, I was really, really attracted to the health and wellness side of it. Matters so much compared to what you're buying from out there in supermarkets, because there's to keep it, first of all, in the shelf or for 2 maybe longer years, there's a lot of chemicals involved. And also the tea bags, they don't break into your cup. Think about it. It doesn't break into 100-degree boiling water. It's made up of something that's probably not good for you, and it's sitting in there for more than 30 to 60 seconds. There are microplastics or micro bits of that chemical that you're taking in every single day. And that's where my passion of even a good quality black tea, because I love black tea. It's cynical. I love it. It's a good quality black tea, a variety of black tea. And I wanted to know, can black tea become extremely good for you? And that's what I learned from my tea master, that yes, it can. It matters. For example, my best selling is 2 black teas, which is my Assam single estate and my Darjeeling straight. These 2 are black, straight, single estate, and they are grown in a very particular condition. The climate is just right. The estate is elevated in the right condition, so it keeps the minerals in the roots and leaves the rest of the sediments with the rainwater, and washes away the rest, which is not necessary. It doesn't keep any harmful element. And I only work with farmers who are very personalized small farms, so they don't have money to buy all those chemicals. And when that kind of product comes to you, you know this is so good. It's actually good for your heart, blood circulation, and even oral health. So yeah.
You're just cutting in and out a little bit, Prati. It's just a little bit hard to hear you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, just every second word or so, it seems to go faint. I don't know if your microphone's covered or something.
No, I'm not even using one, and it's let me do this because I can move.
I'll just pause us for a second. So we're back. Technical difficulties assuaged. Can you just repeat that last bit about the farmers, Prati, because I was really interested in that.
Yeah. So when it comes to a simple black tea or green tea, it matters so much that who are you getting the tea from? The farmers that I work with are very private tea estate personalized people who would own like a very small part of land. They don't even, but they are located literally on the right, like the land formation with the right elevation of the estate. Climate is right, soil is just right, the rainfall is just right, but they don't have the money to buy all that chemical pesticides. So you know that the tea is just meant to be what it's meant to be. It's amazing to work with them, and this kind of tea are really, really good for, like, even a black tea can be good for your blood circulation, could be good for your heart. So not every Assam tea would be good for you, but it depends where that Assam tea comes from you, and you make the right choice, then it's really good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these are some excellent points and considerations that many of us haven't even made before. And something I've heard you say before is about tea being closer to wine than coffee. Tell us about that.
Yes, so that's the next stage. So being trained, I never thought of it that way as well, and that's I think that was an experience as well when we go to these farms, or I go to these farms and I meet these farmers, and for us the first thing to do is get all the latest season of the tea, the last season and coming season of whatever we have, and create a table of tasting, and we have slots of tasting. We grade them, we like how we grade wines, and we pour it into a cup, and then we swish it over. The way we sip it is with a loud noise, swishing it all over our mouth, and then we don't drink it, because there's so much tea to drink for the whole day that obviously that wouldn't be that wouldn't be fun for anybody. So we spit it out into a bowl. And that's exactly how it happens with wine. They are tasting, but they're not meant to just taste, 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 and drink, drink, drink. That'll get them drunk by the end of the day. So they spit it out. And we do the same. And then we grade it, and we write the nose that we felt this muscatel flavor. And then we felt this strong maltiness. It was a slight bitter at the edge, and or way too astringent, or it's lost essential oils. We write all that. Then we think. We sit and think like, okay, this is all the seasons we have. These are all the tastes. What can we blend together? What can we now not? What can be ruled out? And that is such a process that sometimes can take 200 to 300 cups, even 1,000, or seasons, days, months to create a really good blend. And once you pack them all, you know you've got a masterpiece. And that's how I think that it's more of a wine tasting. Once they know they barrel it, they bottle it.
I love it. I love that description, and I love how it's like it really becomes an experience. And I think this is another reason that, you know, tea is a good substitute, a good swap, a good change of habit from overeating, because it's the same thing when you were saying, you know, with a wine tasting, or if you drink lots of wine, you get really drunk. If you eat lots of food and you eat so much that you're uncomfortable, you eat so much that you're tired, like, you know, food coma, it's a thing. And you're missing the experience. I know for me, myself personally, I used to be 150 kilos, so over double what I weigh now. And I had this moment of clarity. I've talked about it before, but I used to eat chocolate by the block, like a family block, and you just eat it mindlessly while you're watching TV. And the last piece, though, the last 2 squares, that would be an experience. You put them in your mouth, you'd enjoy them, you'd savor them. And I remember one night I was putting my hand around like the empty packet, you know, and I was like, oh, I didn't get to enjoy the last 2 pieces. And literally, it sounds so dumb now, but in the moment, it was just like, flash of moment, it was like, what about the other 50 pieces? You know, I think when you're talking about making these teas and creating it and having the experience, and like up to 200 cups to make a really nice blend, it's like, it's not just that you're drinking tea or coffee or whatever it is, like, to get through, but actually making an experience of enjoying it. Like, you are ingesting something. And then, like when you were talking earlier, like linking back to the chemicals and stuff, I'd never thought about that. You're putting a tea bag at 100 degrees and it's sitting there, and like the plastic, that had never occurred to me until you mentioned it. Now it's going to be in my mind forevermore. So job done. But it's like this thing that's been made by, you know, farmers and is quality, and the love that's gone into it, and the experience of bringing it into your body, rather than just mindlessly consuming while you're trying to get other things done. And I think that's a lot of us who have struggled with our weight, is because we put ourselves last, and eating is just another job that we've got to get done. But to what end? Like, until what the next thing is. So I think this is a really great link between the two of them. So the next thing, oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, the next point I had was, you were talking about like tea being only one kind of bush, and then the flavour depending on climate and soil and cultivation, and when the tea is picked and stuff. So have you got any more information about that you want to share?
Absolutely. Before we get there, I'll just like to add a couple of lines of what you said about not being addicted to like food and watching your weight. To be honest, when I'll tell you a fun fact, that I had never tasted a cup of tea until I was 18. And that is because my family was worried that I get addicted to any possible, like, you know, thing that can get me addicted. And that's that thought process of what I was brought up with. And then once I started enjoying tea, it was really an enjoyment. And blends that I have then created, because it came from a very happy mindset, the blends that I've created are something that I've kept in mind that would not get you addicted, but put you in a better shape. The Ayurvedic herbs that I've picked are to put you in a better shape, instead of consuming one after the other, because it's not about quantity, it's about how you savor, and that's, you're 100% right. So
yes. And sorry, one thing to add to that just landed as you were saying it, for a lot of products that are commercially made, tea or other things, they put the additives in because they want people to be addicted, because the more they drink, consume, the more they buy, the more money they make. So, you know, whereas this is totally different. I think sometimes too, I know for me, you know, like if you buy the cheap tea, it's cheap, do you know what I mean? But it's because it has all these nasties in it and this addictive stuff. Whereas if you have the more quality, and I've ordered from Prati, it's not here yet, but when it is, I'll share it on my page. I can't wait. But like having that one cup, or, you know, or that what smaller amount that you truly enjoy and truly take pleasure in, rather than just mindlessly drinking. And, you know, so it's not just the cost for the item, but it's the cost of like what's it costing you. It's the same with like chocolate and stuff. If I used to eat 2 family blocks a day, there's a good $5, $6, $7. If you have one small one that may be $2 or $3 or $4, but you really enjoy it, the
Really
quantity
enjoy
that you're
that.
consuming is heaps better, you know. So it's
Absolutely.
something
Is
to
that
be
conscious?
mindful of.
Absolutely. Is that conscious? So yes, what was your next question? Sorry.
About the process of the tea being picked, and the flavour palette depending on climate and soil. Like this was that's something that hadn't occurred to me either.
Yes. So the tea, when it gets in, it's really important to make sure that when I work with farmers, it's really, really important for me to make sure that the back end of the work is very, very tedious, and yet it should be very perfect. So I did a masterclass on English breakfast, and I always tell people, when you see a simple tea out there and something that you really like, for example, English breakfast, the maximum effort has gone into creating English breakfast in the back, because we have to be really careful about what season of the tea we are picking. How are they picked? Where is the farm located? Is it located in the right climate? Is the soil holding up the minerals correctly? And or is it getting washed away? And is it getting? I have to also make sure that the farmers are picking the tea exactly after 7 days of the growth, and we use certain kind of leaf, and we leave out the rest. Once it goes to the factory, is the process right? Which means that I also need to make sure that once it enters, the leaf enters into the factory, it's been dried correctly, but it's not been dried to an extent that the moisture and the essential oils have been lost 100%. Because you will be able to see the essential oil, and I'll teach you probably next time that how to see essential oil in your cup of tea every single time you're brewing it. So whether it's there or it's been dried out. If it's dried out, you're not doing any favor to yourself. So, and until it gets packed. So I have to constantly monitor, and if I can't be there, it's okay, but I have to constantly monitor the process. And I do get all the chart sheets and all the updates of what's going on in the farm. It matters a lot. And that's when you get great tasting experience, because experience is what I want to create for people.
I love it. I love it. I'm even more excited about when my order arrives now, because just the passion about which you describe it. And it's all, I think all these things that we don't consider, because we do things mindlessly in general. Like it's a gross generalization, but and we eat the things, or as I said, just to get the job done. But I think you can taste it. Like when you go to a really good quality restaurant and the effort and that's gone into the meal, you can taste that. And I'm sure it will be the same with your tea. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I feel like we could talk forever, but I am mindful of people's time. So how can people connect with you? Do you have a Facebook page, a website? I feel like, oh, I want to know more about this.
Yes, absolutely. So I have my Facebook page, I have my Instagram, which I'll send you the details out. And I do have a website, which is under construction for some changes to add some of our new edition flavors. But it should be out there and online within 3 to 4 days.
Oh, exciting. And also too, if people are like, okay, because I know this was me, I was like, so where do I start? Like, so what's the best thing if people are like, okay, I want to order something, where would you recommend they start it?
That's a great question. So, and that's why I've created the current edition with very, very thoughtful process of only having 14 products and turning them into 2 different kits. One is your morning to evening all you need kit, starting from English breakfast to detox tea to everything in between to sleep tea. And the second one is your exotic chai range. And that's a health chai range. So where you get, which is what you're getting, which is...
Oh yeah, everyone knows who follows my page how much I love my chai, but up until now, it hasn't been the best quality one. But, I'm a chai girl, so I'm really excited.
I'm so excited too. The chai is also, all the chais are created with a lot of consideration of the kind of black tea and the spices that are going into, and there are herbal chais in there. And there are other lattes, like turmeric lattes in there, which will help you go to sleep. They will help for your muscles. And it can be like a sorting thing for your whole family, because there are a couple of them are kids friendly as well, and I've marked them as kids friendly. So that's where you can start. There are 2 kits. You can pick one or the other. And there are combo packs in there as well, which I can send you links to, that how do you do like a morning and an evening detox, or a morning detox and an evening relaxation? Or if you just want to kickstart wake up so you can get rid of your coffee addiction, and I've created blends for them.
Okay, and I'll have to talk to you about that one next. But when you said try the muscle one, I'm really looking forward to that, because for me and a lot of my clients, when we come back into the exercise, yeah, you can get quite sore. So that sounds awesome. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. This has been really beneficial, I'm sure. And the other thing for anyone watching, if you've got any questions, please just pop them in the comments of wherever you're watching this, YouTube, Facebook, and I will tag Prati for her to come back and answer. So I'm Suzanne Kohlberg. I'm a weight loss coach who doesn't do weigh-ins. And if nighttime eating is an issue for you and you're ready to resolve this and you want to swap with the tea but you want a bit more support, message me to book a session, and you can check me out at suzannekohlberg.com. Thank you, Prati.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Susan.
Bye, everyone.